You need to hear this story. I was dating this guy who was grooming me into this potentially disastrous situation. It was a relationship where I found myself giving and giving and giving away my power without actually realizing it. I thought I was in control when really I was losing that control. But this isn't the story about that. This is the story about how to get out when you realize that you're in that situation. Because I was in the queue yesterday in a checkout line, and there was a lady who was a retired nurse, and she told me that the statistics on murder, killing of women, femicide, is that every 2.5 days a woman is killed. I don't know how true that is, but even take it at every 10 days, even take it at every 15, 20 days, one woman is killed by her partner. There are only so many women in the world. So that means between you and me, we need to be checking out on ourselves and our relationships. We need to be a little keen. So this is about how to get out of that relationship. Even if you think you're in control, even if you think this guy could never do anything to you, once you realize that there was some grooming going on and there was some kind of power shift, and you want to get out of that relationship, there's a need to be a little cautious about it. This is not fair. Life is not fair. Sometimes you shouldn't have to check yourself on how you decide to get out of a relationship. But because this is happening, women are being killed when they leave their relationships, you need to be a little careful. So in my case, what I did is the little sense of self that was still within me demanded some respect. So I told him that he needed to choose. Either he respects me or the relationship will end. It took him 2 weeks to think about this and come back with a decision that the relationship ends. In that time, before my giving him that ultimatum, in the 2 weeks that it took for him to come along, and also after that, what I was doing was working on myself, building up my self esteem. And by the time I got the answer, and after that, because they come back, they always come back. By the time he came back, I was not the same person anymore. I had gained much more self esteem, and I was able to stand much firmer in my ground. And the power play had changed a little bit. The means that he had used to oppress me were no longer available to him. And because of that, even though he did try a couple of times to get back into my life, it wasn't really the same because the dynamics had changed. So I really, really appreciate it. It's the universe that came up for me and made it work out in a way that he broke up with me, such that it was more difficult for him to be the victim in his head because he had made the decision, he had the power. Take that into account. Be safe out there. We